What if I told you that Drake's Iceman episodes that have been live streamed all perfectly click together when viewed through the lens of an opera? From the narrative story to the separate acts to the grand set pieces and costumes and of course the music. In this video we will break down how Drake is presenting this story and this rollout as a complete art form, opera. Stick around to the end to see how it all clicks together and future predictions for the next episode in the Iceman series.
It's happening on its own. And, who am I to fight it, right? And to fight back against the right thing would be, well,
The legacy of the Iceman. But to begin, we need to go back a bit, where it might have actually all started. Back in 2021, when Certified Lover Boy was announced, the trailer ended with a logo of the album being projected on a rooftop in Toronto. That rooftop wasn't some random rooftop. It was the rooftop of the Roy Thomson Hall, home of the Toronto Symphony Orchestra. In late 2023, after For All the Dogs dropped, Drake returned to the Roy Thomson Hall for the trailer for Scary Hours 3. He was seated in the concert hall as the Toronto Symphony performed the overture to Verdi's opera La Forza del Destino. All this filmed by Theo Scudra, Drake's longtime collaborator, including the main director in the Iceman series. In the trailer for Scary Hours 3, before the music dropped, Drake said, "I feel no need to appease anybody. I could disappear for 2 years. But ultimately, it's coming to me in a way I haven't experienced in years. Who am I to fight it?" And that's the key. La Forza del Destino, Verdi's opera, means the force of destiny. The opera is about betrayal, exile, and fate, pulling you back no matter what you choose. And by staging himself in the Roy Thomson Hall with that overture playing, Drake is foreshadowing what was coming next, beyond Scary Hours 3. He might have even been foreshadowing the entire picture, that Iceman would be a grand spectacle presented as a complete art form, as an opera. In opera, you often begin with a moment where the themes are introduced before the curtain rises. And that's exactly what Scary Hours 3 was. The overture of Verdi's La Forza del Destino plays, and just like that overture, Drake sets the thematic tone for what will come. The red button. The first song in Scary Hours 3 sets the tone perfectly, with themes of rivalries and looming conflict. He caused mass speculation with this song to this day, and it could have been what triggered the whole beef that is unfolding before our eyes with UMG and the legal dispute. If I press this red button, dog, everybody heaven gated, alluding to the tension behind the scenes that would be the whole topic of his next project, which we are now aware of being Iceman. The rollout itself is already almost entirely revolving around the dispute with UMG, and he is telling us the story through new mediums, live streaming, scripted action, and of course, the songs that we all love to get. Scary Hours 3 has also helped set the tone for these themes with the other songs. Stories About My Brother showed themes of loyalty, hard choices, family. Evil Ways with J. Cole showed themes of brotherhood and legacy. And even You Broke My Heart showed personal betrayal at the core of the song with icy payback and vengeance on the mind. These tracks set the palette. Betrayal, loyalty, destiny, legacy, everything we're about to see in Iceman. Scary Hours 3 wasn't just a deluxe EP, it was the overture, the music that plays before the show, as the curtains are about to open, the prologue to the opera, which is Iceman. So, what is opera? Opera is a drama told through music. It's divided into acts, it's driven by arias, which are emotional showpieces, usually solo songs used to express a character's deepest feelings and emotions. The chorus of an opera acts as society's voice, people in a town square, and in modern times it could be reflected as people online, commenting on social media or in chat, giving their opinions. Also, there's set pieces and costumes that heighten the story, and dance and visual art that completes the full art form. And that is why opera has also been called the complete art form, because it fuses everything: music, theater, visual art, dance, poetry, all in one overwhelming experience. And by this definition, Iceman is opera. Drake isn't just dropping songs, he's staging acts, playing roles, using sets, dancers, actors, and rich symbolism to tell a grand narrative about his own destiny and his own legacy. Act 1 opens in a cold Toronto factory. Drake is just another worker blending into the machines, but then he sees a prophecy on the TV that he will rule 15 summers. The motif of prophecies, of there being a chosen one, is a story as old as myth itself, the hero's journey. He hijacks the truck, storms into the city, and the crowds surround him. This is the chorus recognizing their hero. Here, he meets these people in the streets, and he celebrates it. What Did I Miss serves as a foreshadowing. When it's shown, Drake is seeing his character and a possible manifestation of a future and person that he can become. The song functions like an aria, where Drake is expressing feelings of betrayal and indifference to the opinions of others. We also hear in this episode the song Supermax being previewed, where Drake is expressing his creative process, but also expressing his emotions about people who changed up on him after claiming they were family, the pressure of the position that he lives in, his lyrics saying, "They snaked me for now, but we will see later." This is the first act of Iceman, the hero seizing his destiny and hearing his calling. Act 2 is a hero out on his journey. Drake goes global. Now he's in Manchester. He meets Central C, an ally, receives the bag, and the world starts to dance to Which One. The song allows the Iceman episodes to incorporate dance for the first time and contribute to the full creation of a complete art form of an opera. But shadowing this joyous moment is Pinocchio, a villainous trickster, symbolizing lies and betrayal, chasing Drake, though never catching him. We also get an aria from Central C, where he expresses his own hardships, and he alludes to the themes of the Iceman opera itself by ending his song with, "Everything's gonna make sense in the end when we make it out of the streets." We also hear a preview of an instrumental that we know Drake is gonna rap on, but we don't get the full thing. We just get the instrumentation. And this is similar to an opera, where the instrumentation accompanies the action on the scene to heighten the tension and increase the overall storytelling. Like in Verdi's tradition, the festival hides the storm. In many operas, Act 2 features public celebration, dances, parades, or comic relief, while underneath, fate is tightening the grip. The crowd's joy, which is the festival, contrasts with the hero's mounting danger. That contrast builds tension, and we, the audience, feel the irony that something darker is coming even as the scene looks happy. In Iceman, the dancing and global euphoria sit right beside the Pinocchio shadow, the storm forming off-screen. Destiny is still on its heels. As we see the woman dancing in the pool, and as we see Central C and Drake uniting, there is still evil lurking in the shadows. Act 3, the betrayal. In Italy, Drake walks through the Hall of Trophies, calls another ally, Yeet, with reference to a plan. Then, in a mafia-esque situation in an Italian diner, he's handed the red card. And later, in a villa, he meets a Sophia Grange lookalike before heading toward the meeting with the suits. The music itself becomes overtly operatic in this episode. It starts off with Mina's Parole Parole, which opens the night, a song about empty promises sung by an Italian icon who later took control of her own career and started her own label. Fairuz's Wadan is later sampled in one of the most prominent instrumentals in the episode, repeated multiple times. The song Wadan is a piece tied to exile, absence, and longing, and most directly, when Drake enters the theater, we hear Pavarotti singing Vesti la Giubia from Pagliacci, one of the most famous operas of all time. This is an aria of a clown forced to perform through heartbreak. But unlike Canio, who is the main character in Pagliacci, Drake refuses the role of a sad clown forced to perform. He won't hand over the bag to the evil corporation and the suits. He turns away, he goes to meet with his ally Yeet, and he rejoins the people. This act then ends in the cathedral when Drake is left in a bad situation, cornered by the 3 Pinocchios and one of the Pinocchios missing. It ends with a cliffhanger, telling us that this opera is not finished. In this episode, we hear That's Just How I Feel while Drake is driving. This song acts as an aria, expressing emotion about how the music business expects him to speak from the soul like it's owed to them. But then it shifts into how he feels when people talk about him versus the reality of the situation and the truth at hand. We also hear a preview of Lake Como, which is again revealing his artistic process, expressing how people joked about him, but they choke when they see him. And finally, the song played with Yeet in front of the club, Doghouse, which celebrates the embrace of the people, the embrace of the chorus. The people who have been there for him, those that are loyal to him, opinions he values from the people. So Drake is pulling from 2 operatic traditions. He's pulling from Verdi's La Forza del Destino, 4 acts, destiny chasing you no matter what choices you make. And that's why that Toronto Symphony Orchestra overture in Scary Hours 3 trailer really matters here. And also he's borrowing from Leoncavallo's Pagliacci, the imagery from that opera. Performer is betrayed, forced to entertain while breaking on the inside. And that's why episode 3 quotes Pavarotti directly. But there's one difference. In both Forza and Pagliacci, fate wins. The inevitable happens. The hero fails. The curtain falls. Drake might be seemingly rejecting that traditional ending of tragedy. Iceman episode 3 ends not with tragedy, but with refusal. He won't play the clown. He won't give the suits their show. He rewrites his own destiny, his own legacy. The magnum opus question. Opera has always been the format of the ultimate statement, the work meant to outlive the artist. And that's what Iceman really feels like so far. With its scale, staging, and its obsession with legacy, Drake is treating this as more than a rollout. It has the weight of a magnum opus, his most ambitious artistic statement ever. Legacy isn't just a theme inside the story, it's the purpose of the entire series. It's why we are here. So, what's next? Iceman is following Verdi's La Forza del Destino. We're now in Act 3. Betrayal, tightening, destiny, closing in. So what's left in Act 4? Confrontation and resolution. That could mean a trial, legal or symbolic, or a final confrontation regarding the betrayal. It could mean a collapse or a rebirth. It could also include more acts beyond episode 4 if he's not following Verdi's specific structure. Possibly a 5th or a very fitting 6th episode to pay homage to the 6. But all in all, opera always ends with catharsis, giving the viewer a feeling of reward, payoff, and purpose to what they just experienced. The only question left is, will Iceman end like Verdi's tragedy, or will Drake bend destiny and survive? So I hope you've seen now that by almost every single measure, Iceman is opera. Acts, arias, chorus, spectacle, timeless themes, and as a complete art form, it fuses music, theater, and poetry into one staged, cohesive narrative. The difference is simple. In the classics, destiny wins, the hero falls, the comedy ends. But what we're seeing here is Drake putting a modern spin on it. Drake might be rewriting the ending. And we're going to see what happens next. So I hope you stay tuned, and I'll be back with more breakdowns, random videos, and good content. I love y'all. Drop a follow, share, subscribe. I'll see you soon.